Hi, John with eTrailer. Chances are if you're watching this video, you're having issues with your main control board for your Lippert Ground Control 3.0, either the 4-point system or the 6-point system. We sell both of the boards here for those systems. Now, before we go and just make a sale and you buy a part that you may or may not need, I want to go over a few tips for you and let you know, number one, where is it located? Number two, what could be causing some of the problems that you're having? So let's find out where it is first. Now the control board needs to be installed in a dry location, and it also needs to be installed as far forward on your camper as possible. So I'm going to say 8 times out of 10, it's going to be located in a compartment here. We've got our landing gear right here. If you take a look up and over, like on this camper here, chances are your control board is going to be mounted to the ceiling. So this is our control board mounted on the ceiling in the nose of our camper here. While you're here, one of the things you need to check, make sure that that board is secured to the plywood and it's not loose at all. These things need to be secure. They are very, very sensitive. So to find center on your camper, they can't just be hanging one way or another. So physically, touch your board and see if it's loose at all. Also, check the connections and check your fuses and make sure that those are okay as well. Now, these systems also have a 50 amp circuit breaker that you would want to check, and that's here. Somewhere on these breakers you'll see the rated output for them. So this system should be on a 50 amp breaker. You'll see other breakers here for the camper. These are 30s. And you can't tell just by looking at them. You'll have to read, and it'll be printed somewhere on one of the sides of the breaker. So check that, make sure your breaker's okay, and also make sure your ground is okay. Now I will say that most of the problems that we encounter with these systems are due to the batteries. You got to keep in mind that these systems are all electric, which means you're going to have 6 electric motors running, sometimes simultaneously, but most of the time it's 2 at a time. You really need to have a good battery. I really recommend 2 batteries for this application. It's something where once the voltage starts getting low, you kind of get a gremlin action with the controllers, and they need a certain amount of voltage to work properly. So 9 times out of 10, if you're having weird issues that just come up every once in a while, it could be battery related. So I'm not telling you to go buy a new battery, but maybe if you can source one either from a car or your boat, try a new battery or a different battery and see if that solves some of your problems. Now, if your issue is a leveling issue where you hit auto level and your camper is not level, you can always reset your 0-point calibration. If you didn't do it in the beginning, chances are it was done for you from the factory. But you can redo it, and I can show you how real quick here. Now, regardless if you have the 4-point or 6-point system, this is going to be the same to reset your 0-point calibration. My display is not going to be on right here, but just know we'll be hitting the power button to turn it on. You want to manually lower your front and rear jacks. Basically, you want to level your camper manually. A good way to do that is to get a level and put it in the center of your camper and first level front to rear. So you would lower your front landing gear down, lower the rear landing gear down, and double check your level and make sure you make small adjustments until it's level. Then turn your level sideways. Then you want to level left to right. Again, you can just hit left and right on the control panel until you're level both front to back and left to right. Once your camper's level, now with the touchpad off, you'll press and release the front button 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're going to press and release the rear button 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This touchpad is going to flash and beep, and it will read 0-point calibration. Enter to set, power to exit. If you know that your camper is already level, hit enter, and the display will read 0-point stability check, and once it's gone through its little cycle, it'll say 0-point set successfully. At this stage, your 0-point calibration would have been reset. Now, another common problem, especially on the 6-jack system, such as the one that we have here, is you're going to have an out-of-stroke error. Basically, that means the jack was too high off the ground, probably because of unlevel terrain, either left to right or front to back. And the jack came down and it simply just ran out of stroke. It couldn't push down anymore. And so you're going to get all sorts of weird errors, either high amp errors or out-of-stroke errors. So something to keep in mind. And it really is for the 4 jacks too. Make sure that you have these blocked properly. These jacks should be somewhere around 7 inches off the ground for maximum effectiveness, but even at 7 inches off the ground, if you're off on an incline, either front to back or left to right, they're going to have to overcome that to try to level your camper out. So make sure that you have the equipment necessary to block and brace these jacks. We have these available. Check out our website. So that's some of the main pointers that you can look at. If you've checked everything else out and it just comes to the reality that you may need a new control board, well, don't worry. If you can access your board like ours here, then you can replace your board. The connectors do unclip fairly easily. And if all the power is already run and everything, then you can simply unscrew the board from the plywood and put the new one up. Secure it back down and hook everything back up, and hopefully that works for you. So hopefully some of these tips help you out and you don't actually need a control board. But if you do, just know that we have them here in stock. They are genuine Lippert components. And if you have the 3.0, if you have problems with anything else, such as the landing gear, the feet, or the mid jacks and rear jacks, we have those parts in stock here for you too.